Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm so pleased that you were able to take time out of your busy schedules this morning to join us and meet with some of our amazing college partners who are here to speak with you about their film and media programs. I just want to mention a couple of things about the event today. If you have questions for any of our presenters, please drop them in the chat, and you can drop those questions in throughout the event, and we'll be getting back to them once the presenters get on. Also, this event is being recorded. We'd love to see your faces at certain points if you'd like to kind of jump on when we're getting to the Q&A portion. We will also make this recording available to you afterwards and to any of your classmates or to any students, for the teachers who missed the event today. We look forward to hearing your questions, and we hope you enjoy the presentations today. With that, I'd like to pass things on to my colleague, Trenton Price, over at the Office of Arts and Special Projects, to speak with you a bit about the annual Student Film Festival.
Thanks, Corrine. This is a real pleasure to join you today with such great college film and media programs. I am so excited to learn more with you today, and I encourage you all to ask your questions. As Corrine said, I am Trenton Price, and I work in the New York City Public Schools Office of Arts and Special Projects. We support teachers, school leaders, and pre-K through 12th grade students in dance, music, theater, visual arts, and of course, film and media. If possible, as Corrine said, I encourage you to turn on your cameras so we can engage with you directly. Before starting with this amazing film and media college programs, I wanted to highlight the 4th annual New York City Public School Film Festival. The Film Festival is accepting submissions through this Friday, March 25th, in the categories of animation, short feature / narrative, documentary, experimental, and PSA/advocacy. The festival is open to New York City Department of Education middle and high school students, and films will be selected for the festival by a panel of media professionals and educators. So you get to have your work reviewed by real professionals. This year, there are resources from Adobe and videos to support you in creating your films. We're really excited that this year we'll be able to be screening the films in person for the full public in May 2022 in collaboration with the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment. We want to highlight as many amazing student creative voices as possible, so we really encourage you to submit your films. I'll drop the link to the Film Festival submission site in the chat in just a moment. Thank you so much. And now let's move on with this great program. I'm excited to pass this to Allison Burke from the New York City Public Schools Career and College Planning Team.
Hi guys, I'm so excited to be here to talk to you a little bit about what we should be thinking about as we're hearing this information around these really exciting programs. So as I mentioned, I'm from the College and Career Planning team. We support your high schools with improving college and career advisement, access to resources. And what I'm going to talk to you about today is just as you're thinking about these programs and as you're thinking about your post-secondary future, a framework that you can use to evaluate whether or not a program might be a good fit for you. So we talk about the word match a lot, and match really is a way to think about your college and career pathway by first thinking about, is this program that I'm interested a match for my post-secondary pathway? Meaning, does it offer the major that I'm interested in? Next, is this program going to be affordable for my family, right? And then lastly, is this a place where I'm going to feel like I belong and get the support that I need to persist and earn a degree or credential? And so when we're talking about match, we're really thinking about a strategic approach to post-secondary list building and decision so that the goal is everyone is achieving post-secondary success through a degree or credential. And we know that the places that you would choose to apply to and where you ultimately decide to attend can really make a huge difference. So let's just talk quickly about what that would look like from a student's point of view. So this is Eliza, right? Eliza is a student. She's a junior at a New York City high school. And so when we're talking about match for post-secondary pathway, some questions that she might be asking herself, which you all should ask yourself as well, is which post-secondary programs have a strongest track record of graduating students? So we want to be looking at the graduation rates of the institutions that you're considering. Which post-secondary programs are a match given my current academic credentials, SAT, GPA, coursework? What schools or programs offer the major or career that I'm interested in? And then what are the most selective colleges and programs I'm eligible to apply to? And why should I include these? Eliza's also going to be thinking about match for affordability. She's going to start to think about what are the personal documents that I should gather when I'm thinking about applying for financial aid to assess affordability of an institution that I'm interested in. And really digging into how does my family income affect how much I will pay for post-secondary programs? And lastly, what are opportunity programs and am I eligible for them? We know at CUNY, these programs are called SEEK or College Discovery. At SUNY institutions, they're called Educational Opportunity Programs or EOP. You want to know if you're eligible for them, you can ask your counselor for help. And then lastly, we want to think about what kind of institution can I see myself thriving both academically and emotionally? And thinking about, is this a place where I can show up as my whole self and be kind of authentically who I am? And then lastly, are there any special programs on the campus that are really committed to helping me academically, financially, and social emotionally to complete my intended program? So these are some things, as you're hearing about some of these programs today and some research that you might do after this program, this is a framework that can guide your list building and decision-making process. And if you're feeling like you want a little bit more support with this based on some of the things that you hear today, I wanted to let you all know that we have a free college and career advising program that's happening every day after school from 4 to 8 and on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 to 4. And these are amazing New York City high school counselors, social workers, and teachers who are committed to helping you think through your next steps after graduation. So all you got to do is scan the QR code to get started. So I'm going to drop this and along with my email in the chat, and you can reach out to me with any questions. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Allison, for those really important considerations and tips. And I do encourage all the students here to follow up with the information that Allison drops in the chat for you. And with that, I'd like to introduce our first college presentation today. Please welcome Brendan McGibney, Director of the Multimedia Center, and Peter Engel, the Associate Director of Admissions and Recruitment at Lehman College.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Brendan. We're really excited to be here today to share with you a little bit about Lehman College, a little bit about the Multimedia Center and what we do. As she said, my name is Brendan McGibney. I'm the director of the Multimedia Center, and today I have Peter, who's from our admissions department. I have two students, Curtis and Louisa, who are going to tell you a little bit about Lehman College from their perspective, and then we're hoping to have an alumni join, Karen, who still works with, there's Karen, still works with Lehman College as well. So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about the Multimedia Center. The Multimedia Center is the production hub for Lehman College, and we are not part of a department, but we work with a variety of departments on campus, including the art department, the music department, the theater department, and film and television. I'll play a little slideshow. So like I said, we're a production facility. The two levels, our top level is our classrooms and meeting spaces. And then our lower level is our production facilities. We have a full studio for video and film and photography and audio. We have a video control room, very similar to production facilities in the city like CBS, NBC, ESPN. We also have an audio recording studio, full audio recording studio that we've had a variety of different bands in our studio, from rock to jazz to hip hop to orchestral. On the other side of the facility, we also have post-production facilities where we do editing, We do animation. We also have a music classroom in that facility for scoring for film. So students there get to work on creating music for TV, film, video, a variety of different types of projects. And it's really exciting when you see them working in the studio and in the classroom doing all that together. Lastly, we built a podcast room just during COVID that we're hoping to launch this year. A lot of students are really excited to start working on their own podcast. Along with the facility, we also create content for the school. So we do a majority of the photography for the school across the campus, from small events, headshots, to medium events, to large events like commencement and so on and so forth. We also create television or video content for the school as well. Again, small or large. It could be a talking head video where we're kind of sharing something, communication across the school from the president, or it could be something large like commencement, where we have a crew of 25 to 35 people, including students, capturing and streaming commencement live to all the families that can't attend and want to watch online. The concept of the Multimedia Center is an educational environment. So students are always working in our facility, whether it's as interns, whether it's as part of their class, or whether it's as work study. And the concept is to really just share the knowledge and have the students have the hands-on experience with everything that we do. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is, recently we just worked on a project with Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment, and they came to us and asked us to create a series of videos highlighting organizations that pivoted during COVID and really worked to either come together to help their industry survive and keep going during the pandemic, or to help others in need. And it was a project where we created 6 videos, one each organization across each borough. And it was really exciting to work on this project. Again, like we do with the Multimedia Center, it was student driven. We had 12 interns work on the project, and they were part of every aspect of production, from producing to animation and graphics, to shooting, to music scoring for this as well. And the students were hands-on with outside professionals that we hired to come in and work along with faculty. And they were part of everything from the beginning to the end, from the conception of the idea all the way to the final completion of the video. We finished episodes 1 through 5 last year. And then we were asked to do episodes 6 through 10, which are in production right now. So right now I'm going to play a little video for you. One of the episodes from last year, which was a PA development program in Brooklyn through Mullen. And it teaches people to prepare themselves to work in the film and television industry.
The Made in New York Production Assistant Training Program is a free 4-week training program geared for New Yorkers who want to work in the TV and film industry. The mission has always been to help diversify TV and film sets. We want behind the scenes to look and feel like New York City.
Before coming into the program, I was very nervous, but I knew it was something I had to take advantage of opportunity-wise, because it's the only thing I've ever heard of where if you have a lack of funds or lack of education or experience, it doesn't get in your way.
I have people around me that are photographers, writers. There's one person, she wants to be a showrunner, really ambitious individual. It's been the most amazing experience to have people like that around me.
March 2020 was really unprecedented. We had to figure out a way to move our in-person training to a hybrid model. We were able to do a lot of our soft skills training through Zoom, but there were still certain things we had to wait until the state was able to open up for us to accomplish in person, like our mock shoots, learning walkie-talkie lingo and things like that.
I think this program is really important because it's created a nice balance between integrating back into the real world, but also keeping ourselves safe.
We're all many people a part of one body. And I think through the pandemic, it was kind of hard to remember that because everyone was so isolated. So you're kind of reminded of that like sense of community and like togetherness.
Black Lives Matter 2020 was a big movement, especially since the demand for people of color to come in and work in different industries. And they realized that, no, we're not diverse enough. And this program has been here for 15 years, and we are diverse enough. We have achieved so much over the last 15 years with quality employees and with quality participants and quality graduates. We always tell our grads, you know, leaving here will feel like you already have 3 months experience on the job. We're looking forward to hopefully expanding the program by enrolling more trainees.
So that's one of the episodes from last season. And like I said, we're working on season 2 now. It was crazy working on this during the pandemic. It was hard to get access to facilities and to make it happen. And a big part of that was Karen Plowden, who joined us just a few minutes ago. And she's an alum of Lehman College. She's going to talk to you guys in a little bit about that. And she was the producer of this project and just did a fantastic job, not only getting the students involved and on Zoom calls and chats to kind of talk about master classes, but also getting people on set and people getting all this done. So big kudos to her. The other thing I'd like to share with you now is a little bit of behind the scenes from Shift NYC, and just to kind of see what the students were doing as part of the project. Share screen.
At the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment, we are trying to always highlight all the incredible talent of our creative industries in all 5 boroughs. What we love about Lehman and the work is really hands-on learning. From the beginning, it was how can we do a project and how can we give students an opportunity to shadow professionals, get hands-on learning, and get some credits.
We had been developing this project for like a year, then COVID hit. It totally kicked us out of the loop.
The project pivoted into what we're calling now Shift NYC to really capture this moment in time and document what a lot of artists, individuals, and organizations did to kind of shift their programming to serve their communities.
It's absolutely wonderful that we were able to, in such a difficult time, tell the story. And as I watched the videos, I thought back at how difficult it was back in March of 2020. And now to see NYC shift and the energy, it's just an incredible feeling of how resilient the city is. And it is resilient because of the people of New York.
It's great that we live in a city that puts such a high value on production and really tries to nurture that industry. And I don't think there's a better example of that than them reaching out to the youngest population of that industry, the students that are trying to make their way, and give them an avenue to have this experience.
Especially in the field of multimedia, television, etc. Hands-on, being engaged in the work and learning the craft is important. And one of the important things that Lehman College is able to do through the Multimedia Center, through the collaborations that we have with our faculty, is to really engage students in ways that are meaningful and can help them break into this business.
At its core, the Multimedia Center provides students with real-world experience through the variety of productions that we do throughout the year. And I think what Shift NYC is just that on a broader scale. We're bringing in professionals from different parts of the media industry, and we're creating bigger content.
You're hands-on, you're moving things, you're actually touching the gear, you're actually being part of the process. There is no greater learning experience than that.
Hands-on experience is by far the most important thing to me because it's the thing that I learn the most from and that I've gained the most skills from. Being able to be part of this production has just further developed my skills as a photographer, working as an intern in a production set, and it would just launch me even further and continue to develop my skills working in the production industry.
My role in this project was basically being an intern, a production intern, in which we did multitasking from taking pictures to working with the professionals and behind the scenes. It was a particular different jobs and tasks that we were challenged to learn and do.
You know, to have students actively working on a production that will be broadcast on television aligns the curriculum that they're learning with action. We want to see that industry and education are connected and aligned, and that we're not teaching something in the classroom that can't be immediately used in the field.
One of the best parts about being part of this project is the master classes. It wasn't just you being able to grow within your field, but it was also you being able to talk to professionals and see what they bring to the whole project. Different people coming in to talk to us about music, production, editing, directing. You get to see that there's so many things that you can do. So I think the master classes really give you like a broader perspective.
I had gone into this just thinking of it as a production standpoint and taking photo standpoint, but then to be able to see all the different aspects of the sound design and all the other forms of social media and etc., it was just, interesting to get past just production.
This was the ideal combination for students who are ultimately aiming to go into the industry, to become professionals. I think that sometimes you get one without the other. You get the class without the fieldwork, or you get the fieldwork without the class. This was both.
Having students come into a professional project and commit themselves to the project is really important, because that's going to be that first job. That's going to be that first item on their reel, and that's going to be that secure line or that first step to that professional life. They'll be able to gain experience, they'll be able to work with professionals, and they'll be able to almost make those mistakes that the professional world won't allow it. I truly hardly feel any student can come in and also benefit from a project as Shift NYC. It was just an amazing project.
Having to study for like 4 years, and then you have a major opportunity in front of you to be working alongside a lot of amazing people. It was awesome.
The MOAN project connected me to professionals that I can get in contact with throughout my career, and I can reach out, ask a question. It can help me have an insightful future.
I think it's important for students to have access to these opportunities because you learn so much from it. As a film major, being part of a production at this early stage, it's so beneficial because it can open up a lot of opportunities for me. I just want to say that I'm very thankful for being part of the team. I learned a lot. That's something that I will forever be grateful for.
So there you go. There's our behind the scenes. And just to kind of summarize, the students are in the classrooms learning the class, and what we try to do is supplement that with hands-on. And we've had really good results with it. And I think what I'll do now is introduce Curtis and Luisa, who are two students. One just recently graduated, and they both worked on this project as well, to say a few words.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. My name is Curtis Antwi. I am a student here at Lehman College, major in film and television studies. So my role in this project, I was one of the editors. And to get this type of experience, especially at this early stage, was, incredible. To build the portfolio, to be used in the real world after graduating is something that a lot of people don't get to have. So being at Lehman presented these opportunities for me and many others. And I just want to say that I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah. Adding on to what he said, it was just an experience where you not only got to learn about what you wanted to do, so we were both in post-production, but we also, if you asked, they wouldn't say no if you wanted to learn about the other aspects of producing something. So we got to learn about the production and pre-production as well. And it was something that we learned so much from, and it started our careers. And Lehman as well, that gave us this opportunity. I think I also did the Bronze Net, which is filmed here at Lehman College, and unfortunately was cut short because of the pandemic. But even through the pandemic with Shift NYC, we were able to still get the experience that we needed as students to start our careers. So it's just an amazing experience.
Thank you, guys. Next up is Karen Plowden, who is an alum of Lehman College, producer for Shift NYC, and just secured her a nice full-time position at a post-production house in the city. Karen?
Hi, everybody. My name is Karen Plowden. I graduated from Lehman in 2012, and I majored in music. And I got introduced to the Multimedia Center actually through the film scoring course that Professor Michael Bacon teaches there. And so that's how I started to like sort of see what was going on in the Multimedia Center, which was really cool. I didn't really have a chance to explore like film or production courses because the music major was pretty rigorous, but I got the opportunity to intern there right after I graduated, which was super, super cool. And yeah, and then just from there, I started to learn more about production, and then I got the opportunity to produce the Best of the Bronx project that we worked on in collaboration with the mayor's office as well. And so that started to like foster this relationship with the mayor's office and bringing in these amazing projects that engaged students and gave them a real opportunity to work on something, as well as creating like a deliverable. And so, yeah, and like, you know, during the pandemic, Brendan reached out to me about the Shift NYC project, as I was a freelance producer at the time. And yeah, it was just delightful to come back on board. Lehman was such a special place and time for me. And, you know, I was also part of the Macaulay Honors College. And it's just, if you don't know about the Honors College in CUNY, it's definitely worth checking out. It's an amazing, amazing program. They just have so many wonderful benefits for students. So giving back is a big thing that's like, it matters a lot to me just because it's so much was given to me in my undergraduate experience. So it's a no-brainer to come back and work with Brendan. He's amazing. And of course, the student body at Lehman is just unbelievable. They're just some of the like brightest, hardest working people I've ever had the pleasure to work with. So it's just a no-brainer, of course, come back and do a production with Lehman. Yeah, and it was just a wonderful cathartic to get to work on something that not only helped students who were stuck at home for a year trying to learn about film through Zoom, get them on an actual set, teach them some real skills, but also get to kind of like tell a story about New York City and what we all went through while we were, you know, stuck at home. So it was just a fantastic experience. And yeah, so I was the producer and AD for season 1 and came back to direct season 2. And now I'm at a post-production house in the city. I'm an associate producer at a White House Post, and we're a commercial production facility. So that's a little bit about me. Thank you all.
Thanks, Karen. So thank you for listening to us speak about Shift NYC and the Multimedia Center. I've put the link to Shift NYC in the chat if anybody wants to check out more information about it. I'll also add my email if anybody has any questions, whoever wants to come up and see the facility or the school, please give me a shout out on email. And then I'd also like to introduce Peter Engel, who is part of our admissions department. And Peter is going to tell you a little bit more about Lehman College in general, just so you have an idea.
Thanks, Brendan. Good morning, everybody. My name is Peter Engel. I am the Associate Director of Admissions and Recruitment at Lehman College. After a 2-year introversion, I needed something to get excited about. There I was a few weeks back walking around campus, kind of feeling sorry for myself, but particularly because I had to get out of my sweatpants and I kind of needed a spark, you know? So I found my way to the Multimedia Center. I met the fine faculty and some of the students you have just heard from, and I had the opportunity to tour the space, and spectacular. There were recording studios, television studios, post-production rooms, podcast rooms, some of which you saw in the clips that Brandon shared, and they all had state-of-the-art equipment. Wow, this is a cool building, I thought to myself, and this is what I really needed to spark the re-entry to in-person work. And the biggest takeaway I had was the hands-on learning, the supportive environment. Our film and TV studies major is the primary occupant of the Multimedia Center, but that's just one of over 300 degrees and certificate programs that Lehman offers. So why don't we take a few minutes to watch a quick video about Lehman, find out more about the college and what we have to offer.
Welcome to Lehman College. In this video, we are going to share a few things about Lehman College, including a brief description of its history, some facts about the campus, as well as information about the degrees and services we offer. The history of Lehman College. In 1931, the Lehman College campus was the Bronx branch of Hunter College. Before the U.S. entered World War II, Lehman was an all-female school. During World War II, the Lehman College campus was, in fact, a military base for WAVES, women accepted for volunteer services. Lehman College became its own campus in 1968. Fast facts about Lehman College. Total student population is approximately 15,091 total, with 12,833 undergraduate students and 2,258 graduate students. The campus is 37 acres in the Northwest Bronx. The student-to-faculty ratio is 17:1. The average class size is 24 students. There are 92 different languages spoken by Lehman students. Located near public transportation and accessible by car. Lehman College ranked 3rd nationally in social mobility as reported by the New York Times. Lehman College is made of 5 schools, offering over 90 undergraduate and graduate degrees. Lehman offers students a variety of special honors programs including Macaulay Honors, Lehman Scholars Program, and Prestigious Awards Program. It also has a variety of programs to support students with financial needs and academic support including SEEK, ACE, and adult degree programs. Campus life provides students with a variety of clubs and services including over 50 different clubs, including academic clubs, cultural clubs, and student government. A student lounge to go and unwind. A food pantry to help students get a little food when needed. A career closet where students can borrow more professional clothing for that upcoming job interview. As for athletics, there's the Apex Athletics Facility, a state-of-the-art facility that offers a dance aerobics studio, Olympic-sized swimming pool, cardio and weight rooms, available to enrolled students. We also have 10 women's and men's 3rd Division varsity sports. For those interested in traveling, Campus Life also offers study abroad programs where students have visited such places as Paris, Greece, and Italy. Students have also traveled to such places as Africa, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, to participate in the community service. One topic that comes up often in discussions with students is, what happens after Lehman? Will my degree help me get to the next level? The answer is yes. Many students have had opportunities professionally and academically. Professionally, our students have moved on to work at such companies as Telemundo, ESPN, American Museum of Natural History, HBO, Department of Education, BronxNet, Montefiore Medical Center, and many other medical centers because of our competitive nursing program. Lehman value. In New York State, Lehman was one of the 6 CUNY colleges that took spots among the top 10 schools statewide, producing graduates with the lowest federal student debt. 8 out of 10 Lehman undergraduate students graduate debt-free. Nearly 40% undergraduate students attend Lehman tuition-free. For more information about our school, please contact our Office of Admissions at www.lehman.cuny.edu/admissions.
Awesome. So that was just a little bit about Lehman, some facts and cool items to peruse over. I also am about to put my contact information into the chat in case anybody wants to reach out to me directly about anything admissions recruitment related. Just very quickly, I saw a question in the chat. Is CUNY test optional next year? CUNY's test optional right now through 2023, and then there will be new decisions made about whether or not we will require them moving forward. So that was just a little housekeeping item. I think now we will turn it over to questions if there are any other Q&A.
I think we had one for Curtis and Louisa in there. Curtis and Louisa, what are you hoping to take from this program into your career? What parts do you see directly connecting to the industry?
Yeah, I think it's the experience. For example, in the field of film and television, it's about the hands-on, just not the lectures. Being involved goes a long way of what to expect in the industry. One part that I would say, one part I see directly connecting to the industry is the collaborative aspect. Is just not one person taking on all the tasks, but is a team with a shared vision. So it's amazing to see programs. It's amazing to see the progress from the beginning to the end. And my advice to people is that you have to seek the opportunities that that presents itself here at Lehman College, and not just go to class, but also to be involved in the process.
Yeah, I think the whole film and TV industry, it's a lot about the experience. You learn as you do, because you can hear someone like in a lecture, right? They can talk about their experience, but you're not going to learn it unless you actually do it. And it's one of those things that I feel like every creative industry has, where you create, you learn as you create, right? So I think that's like the biggest part. But like as he said, it's all about the teamwork. So you also learn how to work as a team, not just by yourself, because you have things that are coming from different aspects, right? So you have the audio, you have the graphics, you have the people who put it together in the production, and the people who actually produce it, right? So it's a lot about communication and teamwork, and the experience as a whole is literally what we take away.
Yeah, and don't feel like you're in it alone. For example, our task for the MON project, as I said, we were both involved in the post-production, and it's just a collaborative effort. We get notes from different team members as to where the project is going. And, if we have any questions, we can always reach out and get feedback. So it's great. It's great overall.
Thanks, guys. Another question we had was, what are the requirements for students to apply to this amazing Shift NYC program at Lehman? So since we had different faculty from different departments working on the project, we reached out to the faculty to kind of recruit their students, and they posted the project, and the students applied, and then they had a little bit of an interview process for that, and then were selected that way. Another question we had, let me see here. Are there any film programs available for all college students, no matter what college they go to? We have accepted internships at the Multimedia Center from students that are not going to Lehman in the past, usually during the summer for credit or just for experience. And I think that's it on the questions. Any other questions on the chat?
I don't see any other questions, but Brendan, I'm just curious, can you speak a little bit about students that are coming from a two-year program into your program and how that works?
Peter, do you know anything about that?
Sure. So from like the standpoint of admissions, we certainly encourage that, and we work very closely with not only CUNY schools but other schools in the area, to promote the 2-year, then 2-year equals 4 years, bachelor's, same amount of time, less amount of money that it costs, obviously, right? Because a community college is less expensive, so you spend 2 years there, you carry all of your 60 credits over. In terms of specifically a program like film and TV studies. I'm not quite sure if the associate degree programs have something similar where they link right in. But I do know that a lot of like our biggest population of students transferring from other community colleges, they are very clear in their path, right? So film and TV studies is one of the majors that has a set prerequisite course structure. So you have to have all of these prerequisites satisfied prior to landing on this concentration. And that's something that we help facilitate, and we take all of the credits and we push it towards the bachelor's degree to try to get them retained and out as soon as possible and into the real world, like you've heard some of our testimonials today. So we're very, transitionally speaking from community college to 4-year, where we're there hands-on and we're ready to take them and bring them to the next step.
Thank you, Peter. And I just have one more question for you guys. I'm really curious. There was a lot of talk in that video about working during COVID and kind of producing media, showcasing the transition from COVID back to some normalcy. What do you know about the industry in terms of just the need for workforce in this industry? Has there been an uptick since COVID, during COVID? I'd just be curious to hear if you have any insight on that.
Karen, do you want to take that one?
Sure, I can say absolutely. I mean, if the pandemic taught us anything, it's like we definitely have an appetite for media. And yeah, there's definitely a need for a workforce. Absolutely.
Great, thank you. That's always good to know when you're trying to figure out which career path to go into, right? So thank you so much, Brendan, Peter, Karen, and Curtis, and Lisa. Thank you so much. And if anyone has questions for the Lehman College folk at the end, you can also throw those in the chat. Please don't be shy. But with that, I'd like to move on to our next presenter from Brooklyn College. Please welcome Judith Kenny. And she's going to speak to you a little bit about campus life, admissions, the media studies program. And again, please feel free to drop any questions you have in the chat as she presents.
Thank you so much. First, let me just say it was great to hear about all the exciting things happening at Lehman College. It just is a testament to the powerhouse that CUNY is. And I'm here today proudly representing another one of the CUNY campuses over in Brooklyn, so Brooklyn College, and I am in the film department there. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our film program and also talk a little bit about what it's like just to be a Brooklyn College student. So let me just kind of get the screen up, and please feel free to drop questions in the chat. I'll also include my contact info as well a little bit later on. So, okay, if you are interested in pursuing film as a bachelor's degree, you can come to Brooklyn College and study film. As a Brooklyn College student, hang on a second. As a Brooklyn College student, let me get this out of the way. As a Brooklyn College student, you will be part of an amazing campus community. I'll tell you a little bit about what campus life is like. So the campus at Brooklyn College, it's gorgeous, Georgian style buildings. There are 26 acres right in the middle of Brooklyn, a beautiful lily pond, some gardens, and all these, grassy, we call them quads, where students can go and hang out, especially when the weather is nice. Hang on 1 second. Having a hard time. Oh, here we go. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that you can do in terms of campus activities. We've got pretty great athletics. You can try out for one of our intramural sports teams. There are 114 student clubs, including a film society, right? So our students engage in a film society. They have jurisdiction and agency over their own budget. They plan events, they plan trips. It's pretty spectacular. And there's also an opportunity for you to engage in student government, okay? The college does organize pretty great events. You can grab a blanket. There are movie nights that we produce on the quad, especially when the weather is nice. We do this at least a couple of times a month. state-of-the-art fitness center, so you can go and work out if you want in between classes. You can go for a swim in our Olympic-sized swimming pool. Now, let's talk a little bit about what we offer specifically in the film department. So we have a BA program, so it's a bachelor's degree in film. It's hands-on from day one, okay? The concentrations that you can choose from are film production, which is our most popular, film studies, industry studies, documentary production, and screenwriting. I'm going to talk a little bit about each now, okay? So film production, as I mentioned, is our most popular concentration. It is a hands-on program from the start, and you take classes like cinematography, directing, editing, location, sound. This track culminates in the making of a professional level short film, so your thesis film that you will write, direct, and edit. If you're interested more in the theory criticism side of film studies, and you want to focus on film analysis and criticism, you can kind of choose this as a concentration, mostly theory-based courses. Most students who elect to declare film studies as a major, they know they want to go on to careers in teaching, writing. They have their eye on, grad school. You can do things like festival programming, and there are, other career opportunities available to you as well. Next, we have an industry studies track, and the industry studies track really focuses on the business side of film production. So you will take a couple of, the hands-on production courses, but the real focus of this is kind of what is happening before and after the production of the film. So we think about development, we think about distribution, about marketing, taking classes like producing, the business of film, and a degree in industry studies really prepares you for many career pathways in the industry. Having an issue with the moving of this. Oh boy, we're way ahead. Okay, so next we have documentary production. Now, documentary production is our, nonfiction track of production. So, you won't be writing fiction narrative for this track, but you'll go out and tell the stories of what's actually happening in the world. This concentration also culminates in a professional level short documentary thesis film. Screenwriting is, I believe it's the final one that we'll be going over. Our screenwriting track focuses on the feature-length screenplay. So students who elect to major in screenwriting will graduate the program with 2 or 3 fully polished feature-length screenplays. You learn the craft of screenwriting. There are also film study classes that you take on this track and some production classes as well. The faculty at Brooklyn College are working in the industry. We have an amazing team that teaches in our department. They are professional and accomplished cinematographers, directors, editors, producers, scholars, screenwriters, sound recordists, and more. In addition to our full-time faculty, we actively recruit the adjunct faculty that are working and help connect students to various opportunities in the industry. All right, so if you're at Brooklyn College, you're in New York City, you want to study film, location is everything, right? Our prime New York City location to put you right in the center of the East Coast film industry, which is growing, right? We've got so much opportunity landing here in New York for students who are deciding to go into this industry for their careers. Our campus is easily accessible by many major subways and bus lines. As I mentioned, when you study film production, documentary production, you're making a thesis film. Those thesis films are showcased every year at an annual film festival at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. We invite industry professionals. It's a high-profile event. And we also get sponsors on board for various craft awards. Overall, it's the highlight of the year and just a wonderful, wonderful event for you to showcase your work at. Now, I will say as a sidebar, I'm going to be dropping a link to these slides in the chat when I'm done. And you can go ahead if you're interested. These links will be live in the slides, and you can watch some of our past thesis films, on your own through the link that I share. In addition to what we provide you when you're an active student, a current student in the film department at Brooklyn College, we do have a really robust alumni association. So basically, it's a film alumni association that consists of a variety of film professionals working at all levels of the industry. They will host workshops for current students. So they'll come in and run like a lighting workshop, talk about, getting into the DGA as a first assistant director. So there's a really strong connection between our alumni in the industry and the current students as well. All right. And in addition to that, we also are really focused in the department at, supporting students with career and internship opportunities. We know that the skills we teach you in the classroom need to transition into the workforce. And we begin that conversation early on and provide many resources for you to start to think about and plan your careers as you transition out of the program. So we really hope that you want to learn more about joining the Brooklyn College film community. Like I said, I'm going to drop these slides in the chat, and these links will be live, so you can check out our website. You can also email us directly, email me directly if you have any questions or want to set up a tour. We definitely look forward to having you join us in the department. So if there are any questions, I can take them now. And I will share the stuff that I promised in a few minutes.
Judith, we do have one question in the chat. Someone wants to know someone comments that it's really smart to have such robust supports through alumni. Can you expand on networking opportunities from Brooklyn College alums? Yeah, sure. So because we have a film alumni association, this is a group that meets monthly and thinks about ways. I'm on it. So I will say I'm also an alumni of the Brooklyn College film program. I got my bachelor's degree in film production many years ago, and then I went on to get a graduate degree at Borough. So I'm CUNY through and through. What I will say is, so I sit on this board, and and I'm able to advise the best ways to connect those initiatives to what is needed at the department level. So as I mentioned before, we bring in workshops, we bring in our alumni to do workshops when alumni is recruiting for paid PA positions, specifically over the summer, let's say for feature films or shows that they're working on during a time that students can commit. They will recruit from our student body. We send out a weekly newsletter with these opportunities, and we also draw many internship opportunities from our alumni network as well. I hope that answered the question. Yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. So we have another question, which is, what is the application process for a student to get into the bachelor's program?
That's a great question. Now, it is a standard CUNY application, right? So we're a BA program, not a BFA program. Brooklyn College does not require any additional materials. So we don't need to see a portfolio. If you get into Brooklyn College, you can declare film as a major. We do have a minimum grade, so you must maintain a certain GPA in your major courses in order to stay a film major. So that's how we, that's how we kind of regulate who stays a film major. And just to say, the reason that we do this is because we understand that many students, it takes a while to know what you like, what you're interested in. And if you don't have a robust portfolio at the age of 17 or 18, we still want you to have the experience of taking a film class, seeing if it resonates, seeing if it's something that's for you. So we welcome all to apply.
Thanks, Judith. And I'm just going to kind of piggyback off that question and ask you the same question I asked the folks at Lehman, which is, do you have students that are kind of rolling into your program from a 2-year program, and how does that work?
Yes, great question. And I think it's a really great setup for our next presenter as well, because we do get a lot of transfer students from our junior colleges, our community colleges at CUNY, and we work really hard with the junior colleges to set up what's called articulation agreements to make sure that the work that they do at the community at the 2-year level translates into our program. So BMCC is a strong partner of ours. They have a really excellent program as well. We have many of our students who start at BMCC, get their associate's degree. And, you know, when they transfer into Brooklyn College, their film prerequisites are already done and they kind of can start at the intermediate level and make progress in that way. There's an alignment in curriculum so that, you know, these courses actually do transfer and the outcomes are the same. So we work really hard to make that seamless, to ensure that all of our students, regardless of where they begin, you know, can have a great experience at Brooklyn College.
Great. And I just have one more question for you before we move on to folks at BMCC. In the chat, someone asks, how many students are in the major generally?
That's a great question. So we have a variety of tracks. You know, our most popular track, which is the film production, usually has about 400. You know, that kind of fluctuates, but there's about 400 majors in the film production track. We usually see about 100 in screenwriting. Documentary, especially these past few years, has been a major that's been growing. You know, you need less of a team to go out there and shoot a documentary. There's also so much going on in the world that students feel strongly about, and you know, and they want to tell those stories. So we do see that major growing, and really, I have to say, moving and fabulous work that comes out of the student body. And I'm sure all of my CUNY colleagues here can attest to that. I mean, it's just the best, most diverse group of students I think you can find anywhere. So it's a real honor for me to you know, work here and be among them. So
that's wonderful to hear. Thank you, Judith. So with that, we're going to transition to our final presenters today from the Borough of Manhattan Community College. Please welcome Chris Stein and Janet Esquirol from the Media Arts and Technology Department.
Great, thank you very much. I apologize, my dog decided to pick this time to make some noise. I'm really actually happy to follow along some of these great presentations that we've had from both Lehman and Brooklyn College. And that is a big part of what we're doing here at BMCC, which is, you know, preparing people for being able to transfer and also for careers as well. So I'm gonna share my screen here, and it's part of our motto, by the way, start here, go anywhere, which is that, you know, it is whatever it is you want to do. So if you are interested in going on to one of these other four-year schools, but you just either weren't sure, there's some other reasons that you decided not to go directly to them, this is a great place to start. Or if you want to go right into industry, it's also a great place to start as well. In the department that I'm representing, the Media Arts and Technology Department, we have 3 different majors. So one of the things you were told at the beginning is, you know, this idea of pathways, you know, what has the right pathway to where you want to go. And we have a lot of choice in that. And I know that you may be like me when I was in an undergrad. I wasn't totally sure what I wanted to do at first. And so being able to be in a situation to have all these great choices is really a wonderful way. And at BMCC, we have that. So one of our majors is animation and motion graphics. So you're learning 2D, 3D animation, motion graphics, special effects, things there. We also have the video arts and technology major, right? So very aligned with the programs that you've seen in these last couple presentations from both Lehman and Brooklyn as well. Script writing, creating a budget, shooting a scene, editing it, you know, production and post-production as well. And we'll show you some of our facilities too as we go along in there. And then we also have a multimedia programming and design major. And so that is for people who are interested in things like graphic design and web design and other interactive websites and projects and apps and things like that. And we've designed these majors also in a way where you can shift between them a little bit. So you might come in with idea that you might be in one major and then decide, you know what, actually I want to be in another. And we really work with students to help you move back and forth through them. So this is some images here from our TV studio, which we have, you know, a nice full TV production studio, multi-camera with green screens. We also, you know, have classes in remote production and editing as well. So we are located right in the heart of Tribeca. So you're in there, you're in Manhattan. There's a lot of nice locations around there that you can go and shoot. And we have great equipment, state-of-the-art equipment there that you can shoot on. And then also post-production facilities. So these are some facilities that are shared actually between the Video Arts and Technology program and the Animation and Motion Graphics programs as well. And we really work to keep all of these facilities up to date and current, and so that you're able to work with the same kind of tools you would work with as a professional, with the same tools you'd work with and you go to Lehman and Brooklyn and other colleges like that as well. And so, you know, we've been constantly trying to update and keep our equipment in there. We actually just got the Wacom Cintiq lab for our animation folks, which is really great. And actually we share with the music and art department. Something else, you know, I think it was mentioned in the other colleges, we represent a piece of each of our colleges. There's lots of other majors there as well that you can do. You know, these are some of the classrooms that we have, you know, our Mac labs that you might be in the multimedia program and graphic design or web design classrooms as well. So those, you know, we're always trying to make sure that you're working on the equipment and you have what you need to do what's best. And then we also have a lot of extra things that we do, either extracurricularly or as part of certain classes, to really help students get experience and knowing that, you know, we're always working with you from the idea of taking you from not having to know almost anything through being ready to go into a transfer or a career program. Janet, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about this project that you worked with here too.
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
The MEA Design Lab was outside the classroom. Students were paid to work with a client, a real client. We had grant money where we brought in a working art director and myself and another faculty member, and we guided the students through a paid experience where they all created a pitch for this client and presented it. That was the presentation scene there. They presented, and the client chose, I think chose 2 students, and then the art director worked with those 2 students to see the project through completion, which was really great. Everybody got paid. And it was a really pretty awesome experience outside of the classroom, but we used the campus, we used the classroom to run it.
Yeah, that's a great example of how, you know, you get to work with faculty. By the way, you know, Janet herself is a working graphic designer, and all of our faculty, you know, have worked in industry, come from it. And then we also have our adjunct faculty who are often currently in the industry working in it and doing it as well. So we're really trying to help make sure that you're getting all of these kind of experiences that are directly connected to what you're doing. So the faculty, I think, is another great part of what we're doing at BMCC and what you have. And this is just a couple things, some, you know, examples, since we have less of a nice studio for multimedia people, some examples of what you might do, right? And so also part of what we're trying to teach you here is storytelling on multiple fronts, right? So when you're in a film and animation major, you're telling the story that you're doing, but then you also need to learn to tell your own story when you're presenting your work and telling your work. And, you know, that's something else that we want to work on with you so that you do have that ability to go and transfer to different places. So just another sort of like thing to think about in terms of what a community college is. So all 3 of the degrees are an associate in science degrees, are 60 credits, whereas the 4-year degrees are 120 credits. So they're half of a 4-year degree. And so we run fall, spring, and summer sessions, and then these degrees you can transfer on to the four-year schools. For example, Judith mentioned Brooklyn College. It's our most popular transfer destination for the video arts and technology students. Lehman College was the first college that our animation program transferred to as well. When our animation program is younger, it started in 2015. So we really value and have these direct relationships with the senior colleges and want to make sure that what you do there, transfers and translates onto those. We're also, because we're a very relatively large school, you do have a lot of choice in your schedules. It means, when you're taking also classes outside of our major, English or speech or something like that, there's a lot of sections to choose from. There's online classes, there's in-person classes. In fact, all three of our majors now have just been designated by the state as having a distance learning option, which means we offer more than 50% of our classes online that you can take if that's something that you want. But if you don't want that and you want to be in person, we have that as well. So you get that choice to be full-time, part-time, online, or in person as well. And our online classes, I will say, like, this is something, especially due to the pandemic, we've really been working on in those classes and making sure that students in them get a great experience in those classes as well. And just like with the face-to-face classes. And then, so we're in Tribeca, right? So you get to be sort of the feel of the city and to be in there. These are some of the food trucks that are around there that a lot of students like to grab something in between the buildings. There's actually 3 different buildings in Tribeca that we're located in. We're probably some of the most vertical of all the campuses. We don't have the luxury of being able to spread out like Lehman or Brooklyn do. We also really value you going from wherever you're at through graduation. We have our own special department honors programs and things like that as well. There's, again, facilities. There's a full-size swimming pool at BMCC. There's a gym and other things to work out as well. Many student clubs, over 100 different countries or in languages that people represent. Our library here and in the media center, that's all available. And also what you can't see here is that we have a large number of student success programs that you can be part of, where you have people who are really, their job is to work with you to help make sure that you're getting what you need, whether that's academically, financially, socially, and all of that. It's really a large focus of BMCC to do that. I'd also like to mention, for those of you who are in a CTE high school and have a diploma, we've negotiated a sort of broad articulation agreement where you can have up to 6 college credits for the work that you did in high school coming to BMCC. And so that's also something to look at and talk to us about. It helps give you a little head start. We also have a College Now program as well for those of you who are, still in high school, that allows you to start to take our classes while you're in high school that give you college credit that you can apply to BMCC or to other schools as well. And so this is just another example too of just all the different sort of areas. This is not even within this, we have over 30 or more majors in them as well at BMCC. So you do have a lot of choice and a lot of options to go through as well. And I just want to, I guess, end it there and allow people to ask some questions. So thank you for listening to this, and I'm interested if anyone has any questions or anything else that you'd like us to talk about.
I'm going to just, I thought we had 50 majors.
I think you might be right. I think it is 50. I couldn't remember the exact number.
So
it's growing we actually just approved 2 new majors last week.
So that screen where it shows the communities, the academic communities, BMCC created communities so students who are exploring can explore based on the community. So you will find media arts and technology in the communications and media. You'll find us in arts and humanity. You'll find us in STEM, because these are just all different entry points that, and And when you go and explore those academic and career communities, you find the departments that offer majors within them. And this is just a little reminder that if you literally just go to YouTube and type in CUNY BMCC, there are, I don't know, hundreds of videos from public affairs at BMCC that include things like, let's take a look at the learning communities. So if you in the YouTube search put in ACC for academic and career community, you'll see like all of the academic and career communities where public relations went and talked to students and showed facilities and that sort of thing to get a glimpse of the experience from the student point of view.
Right, right. And one other thing too, I didn't talk about this much, but the second thing that you know, the representative talked to you at first about was affordability. And that's one advantage that we have is that we're the most affordable option. The cost per credit and, you know, the cost per semester or year is the lowest at the community colleges. So most of our students come out without debt or very little debt there as well too, which I think is a great option. And one of the reasons that we see such a broad number of students, both from New York City and internationally as well, coming into the college.
Thank you, Chris and Janet. That was great. And I did just drop in the chat the link to the schools here today that has the folder of all of our articulation agreements. And also, I just want to point out to students that that agreement offers up to 3 prior learning credits if you are coming from a CTE media and design program. And BMCC has a variety of programs you can enter into and then potentially articulate to programs like Judith's or Lehman's program. There was a question in the chat for you guys. I'll just read it out loud here. Can you expand on the supports BMCC provides students interested in going from the program at BMCC to Lehman or Brooklyn College?
Right, yeah, so and I think as it was mentioned, so there are both specific articulation agreements, which we're always, you know, working on and talk with, you know, actually we're talking with Judith right now about some of those things, and also sometimes talk with them too when we're creating a new course. This is something people don't know, but it's just sort of, it might be interesting. We can't create one unless it has an articulation with a senior college. So we're often also talking to senior colleges if we're making new courses, so that we know that they transfer somewhere. So there's that with formal piece where we have an articulation agreement that says, you know, here's what you get. But then there's the informal part or less formal when you're talking with your advisor as well. We have faculty who are alumni of Brooklyn College. We have a faculty who's alumni of Lehman College, you know, and other CUNY schools as well. And then we have advisors who have been here for a while. And so they can really sort of help you and start to say, what is it that you're interested in doing? What major might be the best major for you to transfer into when you're going to a senior college as well. So there's sort of both of those supports, both through advisement and through articulation agreements.
Great, thank you, Chris. Any other questions? If you have any questions for our other colleges today, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Now's your chance. Oh, we have one here. Do you also have a similar College Now program like BMCC and or pre-college summer programs?
I can jump. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You first, Judith.
Yeah. Well, my answer will be short and unfortunate, but we are no longer offering the College Now program at Brooklyn College, but there is some talk about, you know, bringing it back in the future. So unfortunately, the answer is no at this time, but there may be an opportunity in the future.
Yeah, we have College Now. We offer College Now courses at Lehman. So same thing that Chris mentioned from BMCC, that students who are in high school are able to take college level courses and earn 6-9 credits and bring those in as soon as they start. And those are generally transferable anywhere, especially amongst CUNY colleges. So if somebody took College Now at Lehman while in high school and they decide to go to BMCC, those credits would be awarded as well. And should be outside of CUNY.
Yes,
and I put the URL. in the chat for the
Oh.
college now for Lehman.
Great. And I wanted to mention something too that CUNY has done that's sort of applicable to all three of us, which is it has a program that you might hear about called Pathways, which is, you know, designed to create a set of classes around your sort of general education, math and science and social science and history. And those classes transfer across all CUNY schools. So if you go to any of us and take a Pathways course in English or whatever it happens to be, it will be accepted at all CUNY schools as well. So that's something else, especially if you're looking at college now and other things like that, that can be really useful for you if you're still thinking about where you might want to go and want to get some college credit that can work almost with any CUNY that you go to.
Thank you. Any last burning questions for our presenters today? I know we have Longwood Prep here. Professor X, if you want to ask any questions. Longwood Prep is one of our CTE schools, is part of that articulation with BMCC. If you guys have any questions, please, now's the time. I do want to just mention, since there's been talk about College Now and clearly just a lot of questions about these programs in general, as an aside, our office will be offering another event in May, where we'll be featuring all of the colleges that the CTE programs have articulation agreements with, in addition to other CUNYs and potentially SUNYs. So please keep an eye out for information about that. That's going to be happening in May. Okay. So I think we're all set. Any last comments any of our presenters want to make to our students today? Janet, yep, go ahead.
I do. So as you're thinking about what you want to pursue in college, if you are on the fence about anything, about whether you want to be full-time, I just wanted to point out that at BMCC, you can just take a class. You can come and take classes and be undesignated for a minute and try some classes and see what you enjoy in a part-time way, and then make a decision. But I wanted to point out that basically every college I've spoken to that has a specialty in media, there is this sort of misconception that that perhaps it's a good idea to go and get all your general education classes done ahead of time and then pick your major. I really want to encourage everyone not to do that. If you are thinking about that, then I would say maybe designate yourself as liberal arts so that you are getting more variety in the classes that you are taking. Because if you take all of your English and your math and science and social sciences at one time, you're going to delay your graduation, because media classes, many of them build on each other. They're prerequisites. You need to take the introductory class and then take the intermediate class. You can't clump them all together the same way you can with your general education requirements. So I see that happen, and I just wanted to put that out there, that it's maybe advisable to break it up.
Thank you, Janet. That's a really important point. And I can actually say that I made that mistake myself going through college. And then I found myself in my last year not able to take certain classes because they weren't offered. So I took an internship and I begged for credits with that internship to exempt me from a class, which thankfully the department chair was willing to do. But yes, that's a very good and important point. So thank you for sharing that.
Awesome, Corrine. That's the other thing, is that you just always have to be your own advocate. Speak up.
Yes.
College
Yes.
is all about, it's not prescribed for you. You are making these decisions. And so you're building your own schedule. I mean, that's kind of a big eye opener for a lot of students. You're building your own schedule from a ton of variety. And so be your own advocate, speak up, ask lots of people for advice. One advisor is not enough. Like, get a lot of feedback.
Yeah. And to echo what our alum were saying earlier from Lehman, it's not just the classes, take advantage of all that stuff going on campus, all those opportunities, really put yourself out there. because particularly in this industry, that hands-on experience is so essential. So thank you all for presenting today. I want to thank all the folks from Lehman, from Brooklyn College, from BMCC for joining us and sharing out on their programs. I want to thank all the students and teachers who joined us today. I want to just flag once more that we are pushing you all to participate in the annual New York City Public School Film Festival, which happens in May. That link is in the chat again if you want to hold on to that. And this event has been recorded, so I will be sharing with everyone who joined today, as well as all of the media and design schools and our commission. Thank you all again, and have a great rest of your day, and good luck in the college application process. Please take these points to heart, including the ones that Allison mentioned at the beginning. Think about your lifestyle, think about all those bits and pieces, and do consult with your counselor, among others, for some guidance. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone. Thanks so
Bye,
much.
Corrine.